Welcome, guys, to the Full Armor of Game. I'm your host, Czar Danya, with the Texting Prince, two of the best in the game. And we have a special treat for you guys tonight. We have our first female guest from Colombia. Her nationality is Colombian. The beautiful Andrea, the feminine woman that you guys want to hear from. She's going to put you guys on game tonight, especially with the juicy topics and questions we have.
You bring the crowns and heads of conquered kings to my city steps. You insult my queen. You threaten my people with slavery and death. This is Sparta! Sparta! Put on the whole armor of game. This is where we fight! And these shield boys!
Andrea, feel free to introduce yourself and tell us how old you are, also where you live and what you do.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. First of all, I'm really thankful to be here. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Andrea. I'm from Colombia, born and raised. I am 43 years old. I live in Florida right now, but I do go home quite often. I'm a barber, so I do listen to men a lot, and I'm here for all the questions.
Okay, so first question I want to start with is, are you dating anyone right now?
Not really. Let's just say we're on the talking stages. But there's nothing, we've been on a couple of dates, but nothing official. I'm still in the market, baby.
Yeah, let's hope he's been listening to our podcast, Texting Prince, and doing everything right. Let's hope he's been doing everything right. But if you want to ask her any questions right now, Texting Prince, go ahead and I'll follow up on that.
Yeah, so you mentioned you are a barber, as in like you do strictly men's hair, correct?
Yes, only men's. Yeah.
Yeah, so what is that like for you on a day-to-day basis interacting with men? Like, do you guys talk about any type of dating stuff, or is it strictly business? And like, how often are these guys trying to hit on you, and can you tell when that happens?
So I feel like there could be two categories when it comes to my job. They are the guys that come not so much for a haircut. They come to talk to someone else that is not the wife, that they are technically allowed because they're just getting a haircut, so it's pretty innocent. And then I have the other guys that, just straight up, they just there to relax. They don't really talk. They just want to be pampered. So, those I want to say are more the executive guys, the guys that work 75 hours a week, or they're CEOs and all that. So, with that, there's like a more level of it. There's a really good fine line between just straight up, barber client relationship. And then we go into my guys, my regulars, they're quote unquote my friends. So those are the ones that we do share a lot of different things. We share about dating, we share about life, we share about religion, politics, whatever. They just want to be able to have another conversation with a woman that is technically acceptable if they're married or if they have a wife or anything else. Now, I mean, if they are single, if it's cute or whatever, I'll be like, oh, okay, what's up with you? And normally I try to keep it at the very beginning, super, super professional. I don't want to come up as creepy, or if anything, I don't want to give a bad example to the people that I work with. I manage a group of women and we all do men's hair. So there is kind of also that kind of lead by example type of thing. But yeah, there is a little bit like, oh, what's up with this guy? And kind of vice versa. I think at this point in my life, I've been doing this for 8 years. I already kind of know the vibes. And, I kind of, you can kind of tell who's out there looking, who's not, and who's out for the fun. I get the guys that walked in, take their ring off, put in their finger. In fact, it's really funny because we literally have a drawer in the barbershop full of wedding rings. So maybe not full, but there's at least 10. They drop them, whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's quite, I always say there's never a dull moment. It's all kinds of guys, the good ones, the bad ones, the drunk ones, the stinky ones, you name it, we've seen it. So Yeah.
So I have a question. Has any guy ever asked you out on a date where you rejected them and then you never saw them again? So basically they couldn't handle that rejection from a woman.
Yeah, unfortunately that does happen. I don't want to say often, but it does happen quite a lot. I feel like in this profession, a lot of men, maybe it's me, I don't know, they confuse kindness for interest. I am huge in being kind and being professional and helping as much as I can. So, maybe if I'm too nice, maybe he took it the wrong way, then the text messages start like, it's not so much, can I get an appointment? Is when can I see you outside of the
Mm.
shop, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, I have to turn them away and it's bad for business. I usually don't see them again. Or 6 months go by and it's like, oh, can I come get a haircut? And, but yeah, it does happen and it's really bad for business and it does suck.
Do you have anything, Adam?
Yeah, I would say so. What if there was a guy in a situation where he's going in to get his hair cut, or even in other professions where, like you said, it's good to be kind and polite. That's just good
Uh-huh.
service. You have waitresses or bartenders, kind of the same idea.
Right.
What would be the right approach for a guy if he was trying to hang out with someone like yourself outside of work?
Such a good question. I think that goes not so much at work, but at the gym also. And I tell this to my guys all the time that are trying to approach women. Don't be creepy. Just be yourself. If you get rejected, hey, no worries. See you in 3 weeks for my next cut. Just don't make it awkward if you get rejected. Rejection is not necessarily personal. I feel like rejection could be, I'm not ready to date, or you're a client, or I guess maybe in my, for me, it's more that like, it's just a client. Let's build a relationship first, maybe a friendship. I'll fill it out and see if it's worth for me taking the risk of losing a client, which means losing money, and dating someone that is worth, losing money for, basically. Um, and the same kind of goes at the gym. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, oh, don't approach girls at the gym, or yes or no. It just comes down to not what you say, it's just how you say it. Just don't be creepy. If you get rejected, brush it off, still be polite, say hi. The more awkward you make it, the worse the rejection, I feel, is going to feel for both sides. I'm going to feel bad because, yeah, I rejected you and whatever. And obviously, the person that got rejected is not going to be very pleasant for them either. But I think that would be my advice. Just be yourself. Just be like, hey, if you're interested, I'd love to take you out sometime whenever you're ready. We have great conversation. Good. So then the ball is on my court. Now I'll be like, okay, maybe, one day, sure, or maybe one day I'm bored. Hey, I'm available this day. But it's just like the more casual I feel, the better. If you guys get butthurt because you kind of get rejected, it just kind of makes it worse. Just be cool about it. Okay, cool. Maybe next time I'll bring you a coffee next time I come see you in 3 weeks. Great haircut. Just brush it off. So those are the guys that I'm like, okay, this is cool. He comes back, he asks me out, he come back in 3 weeks, nothing happened. Now I feel a little bit more comfortable with him, so I maybe started sharing a little story here and there. So maybe start building up that friendship before, oh, just take me out to dinner.
Mhm.
So that like one of the things is like, maybe get to know the person a little bit before you ask. I get this all the time. When can I take you out for a drink? Let's all go out for a drink. Well, sir, if you knew me, you knew I don't drink. And I just told Cesar, my sleep comes before anything. My sleep is more important than my dating life. I'm in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock, weekends, Friday, Saturday, no matter what. So I don't drink alcohol. I work out, I go to the gym, I do my thing, I go out to dinner with a girlfriend. But if I go out, my focus is on the person that I'm with. I'm not out there looking. So yeah, that's kind of thing. Get to know that person a little bit so you can ask the right question instead of, oh, let's go out for drinks.
A lot of key points she made And I hope you guys are paying attention. And we talked about this, Texting Prince, on our podcast, The Worst Dating Advice, where coaches say, oh, just go for it. Make your intentions known. Get to know the girl first before you even ask her out. Build a connect. Like, she has, like, God damn, in her mind, she's like, at least know my name first before you're so quick to ask me out. Build a connection with her. Same thing with the gym game. I tell guys, don't ask them out right away. The third time is a charm. Build that comfort first. When you first see her, get her name, small chit chat. When you see her again, call her by her first name, small chit chat again. Then the third time, when you've built that comfort with her, now you can say, hey, listen, I think you're really cool. Let's go out sometime. Right?
Yes.
Put your number in my phone. Same thing with her being a barber. Don't ask them out right away. Build that comfort. Your success rate is going to be so much higher. And I used to make this mistake where I thought I just got it like that. Let me get her number right away. They'll give it to you, but they'll ghost you. They'll flake on you. They'll stop answering you because you didn't build that comfort first. They don't know who you are. So that was a great point. I hope everyone was paying attention to that. Okay. It's okay to get to know a girl first. Let her build that comfort with you. Attraction first, comfort second, and seduction.
And I cannot address this enough. Don't be creepy. Be yourself. Don't come up with, just like be casual about it. Or, if they come to me, just, I like your skirt. Can I go out with you sometime? No, just that, no. Complimenting a woman should be maybe the first day, but don't complimenting is good, but when it's right away, it's super creepy. So, just come up with something clever to say. I really can't think of anything at the moment, but just don't be creepy. Be yourself. It could be something as simple as, hey, I'm sorry, do you have a pen? Like, that's how this guy got me one time. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, let me get you a pen. I'm digging into my gym, blah, blah, blah. Here, blah, blah, blah. Totally planned. He was on the phone, or they walked away with my pen on purpose. He confessed later. So at the end of the work, he's like, oh, I've been looking for you all over the gym. Thank you for borrowing your pants. So what do you do now that you're done? I don't want to bother you. Totally got me. And then I figured out the agenda, but that was great. Not
smooth.
Creepy, just
that was smooth.
Yep.
I'm going to start carrying around a pen with me. I'm going to have multiple pens.
That was pretty good. Yep.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Adam.
So in one thing, trying to distill this between like the guys listening to this, like when you said, don't be creepy, it's more about how you say it than what you say.
Right.
Is it, and I was going to use the same word, butthurt. If a guy comes on too strong by giving you a compliment and all that right away, does that immediately kind of put you on the defensive? Because now you feel like he's, you're just waiting for him to ask you out or something like that?
Yeah. It just kind of puts that, little red flag. Now now I'm like, okay, I know this guy's agenda. Now I have to switch to, not be so fun and, whatever. I'm just going to be a little bit more serious. So, nowadays with women, and not that we need to get into that, but traumas and the creepy uncle and just things that now in society have come up, you might trigger that girl with something, and then that's the end for you. So that's what I'm saying. It can just be super casual. So, yeah.
And you heard what she said, right? They'll have their guard up instantly when you over compliment them, when they know you're trying to get in their pants. The nice guy, the typical nice guy, they'll automatically have their guard up. Now they're like, okay, I got to be more serious with this dude. So I don't give him any more inclination that I want something from him or I'm sexually interested in him. So women will have their guard up. But if you have someone with confidence, masculine energy, they go up to you and they compliment you, they give you a genuine compliment, it's completely different, fellas, because they're doing it from their heart. They're not doing it because they want something in return from her. And that's the difference between when the alpha compliments a girl, where I tell a girl, you have the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. I'm saying it in a way where I don't want her to validate me back. I don't want anything back from her. I'm saying it because I truly mean it. I noticed something.
You don't come up to a girl and you're like, oh my God, you have beautiful eyes. What's your
number?
No,
no, you don't act like
you
got to be like James Bond. Yeah, James Bond is chill. He's not waving his tail like a puppy dog, around
No.
women. No, he's cool,
No.
calm, and collected, and women can sense that. Wow, this guy is very comfortable being around beautiful women.
Yeah, daddy
And
energy.
it's that vibe, right? So I wanted to ask you, Andre. So you being Colombian, what types of men do you go for? Is there a specific race, or it doesn't matter as long as they have masculine qualities, or they have to have these types of qualities?
I mean, personally, I'm not saying we're all Colombians. I mean, I am a sucker for the white boys. I do like them. I'm not really attracted to Spanish men or black men. Not to say it's bad. Personally, I like the white boys. And there is a very specific reason why. It's, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm attracted to them physically, but in general, American men don't have the mommy entitlement or mentality. American women are very strong women, especially, you know, the moms that are now grandmas, you know, born in the 60s, 70s, that they're raised their boys correctly. So they're going to be men that are going to be more appreciative of a Spanish woman. I mean, fortunately, whatever, however, depends on who sees it. We were raised to take care of our husbands and take care of our kids. So, you know, most of Spanish men, I feel like that's what is expected, you know. Plus, nowadays, it's expected for her to also cook and clean, take care of the house, take care of the kids. I feel like with American man, they have so much more appreciation for perhaps that background of taking care of a man, taking care of a house. If she wants to work, work. If she doesn't want to work, don't work. I mean, that depends on the financials of the family or whatever the dynamic is. But I think in general, American men appreciate a Spanish woman more to the core, not so much for the pretty or the long hair, or but it's a traditional. We're more traditional feminine women, and I think that is why I am more attracted to that. I'm attracted to a man that is not entitled or doesn't feel entitled for me cooking, cleaning, taking care of everything. I will happily do it for the man that I will be with or that I will be submitted to. But you know, Spanish men in general, that's just expected because that's how they were raised and that's how their mothers raised them to find a wife and a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you. Is there a difference you can see when you're talking to your male clients about dating, relationships, you know, women, versus when you're talking with all your coworkers, all your female coworkers about them? Is there a difference that you can discern between how men versus how women talk about dating and relationships?
I mean, yes and no. I think that in general, the women, well, first of all, the women that I work with, they're all kind of like married and in relationships. So if anything, there are the ones always kind of giving me a little bit of like advice or things like that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we talked about it. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like it's so out there nowadays, the dating scene and the dating apps. And about a year ago, I was on a dating app. So the girls will help me like, yes, no, yes, no. So, I mean, yeah, we have, but in general, we don't really talk about it because for them, they're already kind of in relationships. I do have other girlfriends. Well, my best friend, she's also married, but my other best friend, she lives in Tampa and she's also in her late 40s and she's also single. And the struggle that she's having is she goes for the younger guys, and that never works. We can get into that subject also. They're fun, they're great, sex is amazing, but when there's 15 years of gap between a man and a woman, the woman being older, it's just mentally, it just doesn't work. So I think for her, she needs to work on that. So we do talk about the dating life, but we just kind of go for different type of men. So it's kind of never the same.
Yeah, I think a lot of men, they will date older single mothers or older beautiful feminine women, but to get into anything serious with them when there's that age gap, you have to have an understanding, right?
Right.
Where this might not be anything more serious than casual.
Right.
Okay.
Or,
and I agree
I
with
mean,
that.
I've seen it with the guy just really madly falls in love. Like she has one. She had a guy, great guy. He felt madly in love with her, but at the end of the day, He wanted a family. He wanted kids. And for her, being 47 years old, that was not in the cards for her. So with a lot of pain in her heart, she had to let him go. And it was on his, 32-year-old. It was very hard for him to understand, if everything's great, if we love each other, why are you letting me go? And so it was really hard for him to understand that she was, if anything, doing him a favor. So, I think it's important. Her and I talked about this. Good men, good men need to have kids. Is their duty, is their job, is you guys', I don't know, Adam, if you have kids, but it's you guys' duty to raise good men, more men like you, because as we know, it's just, men are not being raised correctly.
Yeah, could you elaborate on that though, when you say not raised correctly in a sense? I know on your own, your own opinion on that, but like what do you think would be the proper way for a man, a guy to raise a boy? And
I know this is going to sound terrible, but I feel like the first thing that needs to be corrected, I mean, there's nothing we can do about the educational system, so everything has to be at home. I think homeschooling right now will be key for girls also, but especially for men. Men need to learn to be men. Men need to learn how to take care of a house, do like finances. I mean, so does a woman, but I feel like that needs to be addressed in a different way. So I feel like for a man needs to, or a boy needs to learn how to be a man. And I think with all and especially a lot of feminist moms, they baby their boys, they're my boy and this and that. I just saw a video of this woman arguing on TikTok because she let her son wear black nail polish. No, that is not the correct way to raise a leader, raise an alpha male, to raise someone that's going to be good for society. I think with Cesar, we did this thing where he said, a man is always going to be the head of the household. Teach the boys how to be heads of the household, and I said, a woman's going to be the neck. She kind of controls where the head goes and supports the head. And I feel like that dynamic is what it needs to be teach to kids right now. If I was a mom right now, I mean, my daughter is older. I don't know how she got so good, but if I had to have a boy right now, I would not let him go to school, and definitely not college. That's just me.
Because he would be, in your opinion, like feminized by the culture, by the female teachers, by what's being spread around him, and
or college, or all this like woke movement, or it's okay to be this, it's okay to be a boy, but be a girl. I mean, it's just these kids are growing up so fucking confused. Excuse my French. They're so confused. Okay, so I'm a boy, but it's okay to be a girl, but it just I don't know when it went so wrong. But that, to me, that will be just keep your kids at home, put them in sports so they can socialize with other kids, let them get hurt. It was so funny because I was at the park with my nephew. I went to Colombia a few weeks ago, and he fell or whatever. And my sister-in-law, you're okay, you're okay. When my brother fell off of a swing, my dad, get up and you're walking home. But nothing. You fell out of a swing. That is nobody's problem. Nobody wants to hear you cry. I remember him. My brother was like, 8? And my dad was like, be a man and stop crying. Was that harsh? Maybe. Did that build my brother some character? Absolutely. So, he learned
that's interesting.
That yeah, he learned that day more to be strong. I mean, that's the job. That's the man's job. Be strong.
Yeah, I taught public school second grade for 5 or 6 years, and I taught with mostly women teachers, but that would be a difference I really noticed. If a kid falls down or something, the women teachers would come over, coddle them. Oh, are you okay? And like all this, and just like really feed into that attention they were getting from crying or getting
That's
from.
It. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. Okay, good. You don't need to call. Are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. No, I mean, ask, are you okay? No, I'm not. What's hurting? without the mommy, without the, okay, what's hurting you? Wait. Okay, well, you're good. You're fine. You're alive. Go on.
Yeah,
My daughter always said that too. I mean, I raised her, we bump heads when she was 8, 9, because I was trying to raise a feminine but strong woman, and right now she's 22 and she thanks me all the time. She's like, it was so hard and you were so hard on me, but now I appreciate that now. Well, there you go. I think that for men, it should be the same.
What do you think of feminism and the whole feminist movement? Do you agree with it? Do you think that
To be honest with
naturally
you,
feminine women have inner grace, inner feminine strength where they don't need a movement like feminism?
Feminism is not feminine women. It's kind of the opposite. Feminism is encouraging women to be equal as men. And that is the most horrific thing I've ever heard in my life. We're not equal. God did not make us to be equal. It's like the yin and yang. So why all of a sudden the feminism movement wants women to be equal to men? That's what I understand. It's just there's so much of the feminism movement that I don't understand. I guess maybe because I disagree with it so much, and I tune it out. Like, I just don't even want to hear it. Like, it's just so ridiculous to me that women rising. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think we women can be known for that, for being, first of all, supporting each other. And that's something that I feel like, I don't know why there's so much hate in between women. Men, you guys throw a couple punch, you're cool off. But with women, it's just this constant criticism, and not for nothing, but mostly comes from the feminist women or the feminist movement, criticizing other women like me for being the way I am, and for, believing in the alpha males, and believing that a man is not. Somebody said to me, so you think that men are superior? No, it's not a competition. It's not a being superior, being inferior. It's a compliment. I'm as equal as a man as far as my feelings and me being a human. But from my physical parts, for everything, I'm completely different. I'm here to support my man just like my man is here to support me. Nobody's better, nobody's superior. We just complement each other. So, I mean, again, there might be some things that I could maybe agree. There's some things that I might disagree, but in general, I just don't understand that concept of feminism, because it just doesn't make sense to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
100%.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, well said. What signs? So we know with like a lot of women will say that I was giving the guy the signs, and then the guy's almost kind of clueless in a sense of the signs that a girl's interested, because us men are very direct in our approach, and women are more indirect. They're more sending subtle clues. So are there some things that you can think of when you personally are interested in a man? Doesn't have to be a client of yours from the barbershop, but just in general, what are some signs that you do that show that you're interested in a man?
It's really unfair, I guess, if you said it. It's really easy for me to check out a neck half the time. If a guy is going to need a neck shave or something, hey, I noticed you need a neck shave. Here's my car. I'm a barber. I'm in blah, 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 blah. Come see me. And my car has my number. They're like, oh, okay, where are you at? And blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, right here, blah, blah. I'm a licensed barber. Usually I'm really good. And I can tell you do that skin fade right here, a little blow. I got you. I can tell you really need it. So that's my pickup line, is just, hey, I can help you.
That's smart. That's really smart.
Yeah, that is good.
I'm about to make cards, Adam. I'm about to make cards.
What
Pen
about
and cards?
What about two guys that are running into a lot of women that don't have this same type of occupation, but like, let's just say you're out somewhere at the bar, or well, not the bar because you don't drink, but you're meeting a guy in the wild. Are there things that you do with your hair? Are there ways that you smile? Do you laugh at? Like, what are some things that you do when you're trying to like show that you're interested rather than throw the card out there?
I mean, that is a hard question, because I am such an introvert at heart. And to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever, before I started this profession, I don't think I ever did or threw signs. And I'm going to tell you why. When you grow up in the middle of a civil war, like it was in Colombia in the 80s with Pablo Escobar and everything going on, it was embedded in my brain. You do not talk to strangers. You're a pretty little girl. You look like a doll. You're very easy to kidnap, whatever, whatever. I remember my grandmother, my mom, everyone, don't talk to strangers. You don't talk. Or they were like, Elby, don't talk. Don't say anything. Don't talk. So I was raised always kind of walking with my head down, which has been one of the things that I've worked on. When you work with your little traumas or whatever, because I'm always been extremely introverted when it comes to coming up to people or saying something, or an attractive man. I could never. My girlfriends will make fun of me my whole life. They're like, Andrea, like any guy will talk to you, why don't you come up to him? Nope. They will have to go get the guy for me, because I will never have the guts to talk to anyone. And I think it just comes from that little voice: don't talk to strangers, don't talk to anyone, they're going to kidnap you. So I mean, if I didn't have the profession that I have right now, I mean, I'll be on the dating site. I don't know. Or I have my girlfriends go get them, because I couldn't tell you. I would not know how to throw clues. I mean, I've seen my girlfriends send shots to the guys. It's just crazy things that I will never do. But hey, to each their own.
See, that's another point I want men to understand. The more feminine a woman is, the less chances she's going to approach you. So a lot of these red pillars or guys that are too scared to approach women and think women should approach them, it's not feminine energy to go up to a man and approach him, unless with your idea, which is smart, you have the card and you let your intentions be known in a smooth way. But a lot of feminine women, they'll leave you clues. The old folklore of her dropping the handkerchief in front of you, you picking it up, starting a conversation, but her playing with her hair, constantly being next to you in your vicinity, even her smiling at you when she makes eye contact. If she keeps playing with her hair, adjusting her bra strap, adjusting her jeans, she's grooming herself because she's attractive.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yep.
But feminine women like yourself, I understand, like it's gonna take a masculine man to actually go up to you and approach
you. Same with texting. Like every guy sometimes, and I think we could get into with the guy that I'm dating. I don't text guys. I don't text him. I reply, but I never, ever initiate a text. And I've had guys, to me, they're pretty beta. If you expect me to text you, you're not for me. I don't look. I just sit here and wait. And my mom, everybody's like, good luck with that. Well, I am not going to chase anyone. I am not going to chase it. It's not my place. Like, I feel so uncomfortable, quote unquote, chasing a man. Like, that is not my job. So men's are hunters. My dad he told me two things. Men are hunters. Leave them alone. And the other thing that he said, what a man doesn't get in his own house, he's going to find it somewhere else. I think that fucked me up a little bit, but it's so true. And I see it with my clients all the time. So for me, those two things, I respect man. I know my place. And I know that if a guy is very interested, he's going to text me. I am going to reply. I'm going to keep going the conversation, but I will never initiate. Oh, so when we're going out, so when am I going to see you? And that's so cringe to me when my friends are like, yeah, I just asked him, when are we going to see him again? I'm like, why? That's terrible. Don't ever ask a guy, when are you going to see him again? Like, that's for him to decide. If he doesn't come to you, then he doesn't like you, So that's the other thing. Approaching and the whole texting is gotten out of control.
Your thoughts on that, Adam?
Yeah. So
yeah, I know you got a lot of thoughts on that.
Oh, I do have some thoughts on that one. But so how I would fire back at that is, like you said, if he doesn't text you, he's not interested, or whatnot. So what about on the guys' end hearing the same thing? Because the thing that a lot of men are running into these days is guys get put in the friend zone and they get used just to take, girls out on dates, or they get used. So again, on the flip side, I could tell a guy, if she's not texting you, she's not interested, don't go after that, because she's just, if she responds, then all the power's in her court. And now that, to me, changes the dynamics of guy being the leader, girl being the follower, because now it's making, it's making the guy chase. And to me, that's beta.
I mean, I think there's a fine line, like everything else. You got to take everything in like context and just kind of make your own like soup with it. If you're not getting, let's say, I don't know how to explain it, but if you're not being mirror your behavior, like if you're texting the girl and he's like, she's not interested and he's the one texting all the time and she takes 2 hours to reply, and it's always like never a question, like a guy asks me, so, and like, what's your day? And she's never like, my day was la 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 la. And that was it. And then expects, again, initiate another one. The way I do it, how was it? My day was great. How was yours? How was whatever he told me the day before he was going to do? So I engage in the conversation, but I necessarily don't initiate it. And I think that's what it needs to be taken in consideration when the example that you're giving. So if your efforts are not being mirrored, then definitely she's not interested. But I guarantee you, if she is interested, she's gonna want to keep going. She's gonna want to get the conversation going. It's gonna want to the flow. Hopefully, at least with me, I hope, okay, maybe the conversation, it turns into like, yeah, let's do that soon. Or, when we talk about, mutual interests or whatever, that's the chance to be like, oh, let's do that soon. So you're kind of opening the doors for a little date. And again, it's not creepy, right off the bat. So I think like that, just for the guys, like you said, that are listening there, on the other hand, just read the room, literally. If you're not being reciprocated, if your effort to communicate is not being reciprocated in mirror, she doesn't like you. If you initiate a conversation and she's literally interested in getting to know and asking questions and just keeping the flow going, then I don't see why he can't initiate the conversation anytime, as he should.
I knew several women like that. It was rare where they were so feminine. It took them at least a year before they even started really reaching out to me and texting me. But every time I texted them, they were always compliant. They always answered. They were always interested. I could have told them, let's hang out right now. They would have stopped what they're doing and they would have came and saw me. So there's always there's always exceptions. And I think a lot of feminine women that are truly in their feminine, they want a guy that's going to lead the way for them. But you're not texting her being a beta male simp or over validating her, over compliment. You know that if you're giving her attention, she's giving you sex in return.
Lead the conversation, like a real man. Lead, provide, and protect. And that goes with everything: conversation, texting, food, like whatever. I hate when the guys are like, ask me for a day. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Oh,
that's so annoying.
All of a sudden, I got cramps.
Yeah, that's so uncertainty.
Something.
You never ask the girl what she wants to do. You make commands. We're going here at 8:00, right? Or meet me here at 8:00.
Yeah.
Okay. And the only thing I could answer is what if you ask a man, oh, what should I wear? That's the only response I should give you back.
That's it. That's my always reference. Yeah. No, what I said, what do you want me to wear?
Yeah, perfect. You see textbook right there.
That's it.
Yeah. You got one, Zara. I got another one if not.
Yeah, so I wanted she messaged me about this specific situation with a guy she did find attractive, Prince. Okay, so unsolicited penis pics.
Oh,
okay.
No.
He ended up sending her one, and she lost all attraction. Where she didn't ask for it, she didn't want it.
Story of
but randomly, I don't understand. And I don't understand why men, like, there's a new resurgence of this where they think women are going to be attractive visually. Let me send her an unsolicited pic. I'm like, oh my, I've never done that in my life. But go ahead. Let's hear the story.
You had a story about that?
There is the whole story, and you guys are gonna die. And I hope this guy.
I hope he sees it.
So we went to dinner. Things were doing good. We talked about it. I'm like, I hate D-pics, blah blah blah. Clearly, you didn't listen. It's so cringy to even think about it. I'm at work. My job is really busy. I get really busy. So it's a Sunday afternoon. Our Sundays are one of our busiest days. I looked at my phone at 5:30. And there is the deep pic. But this is, you guys, the caption is what you guys need to remember. The caption read, "Fix this." Cringe. I lost it. I typed a whole paragraph and I'm like, no. Now this is different. So my reply was, "My dishwasher is broken. Are you going to fix that too?"
Was he aroused? That's what I want to know. Or was he when he meant by like fix this? Did he mean like you gotta
it was like
get some blood flowing?
Honestly,
Get some blood flowing through this.
Did he mean give it a haircut?
Yeah, did he
No,
mean shape it up? Like what did he mean?
I did not give that any oxygen of my. I just didn't give any detail. Looked away, closed it. And my reply, I did it up. I take a whole paragraph. This is gross. I talk to you. I'm like, no. We're going to play this. So my reply was, "My dishwasher is broken. Are you going to fix that?" His reply was, "What's wrong with it?" So I'm proceeding, to tell him, completely dismiss the picture. I didn't say anything about the picture, blah, 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 blah. So, that just completely threw me off. I started to like ghosting him for a couple of days. And, he wanted to see me. And I'm like, no, I'm busy. Now I'm replying every 6 hours, barely replying, short, blah, 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 blah. So Friday comes in and he's like, "Hey, are you at the shop?"
Cool.
I'm like, "Yep." Oh, God. Ooh. He's like, "I'm on my way." I'm like, "Why? I'm really busy." He's like, "I got a surprise for you." He bought me a dishwasher.
No, he didn't.
Oh.
No,
so
that took a turn.
I haven't even slept with this guy either.
That took a turn.
Nothing. He shows up with a dishwasher, blah, 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 blah. And he texted me before he showed up, and I sadly had to decline. I'm like, "Oh, we can talk about this later. Like, you don't have to get me this, blah, blah, blah." And then he's like, "Well, you sure fucked up this surprise." Fair enough. So that was it. I broke up with a guy. He sent me the receipt to Lowe's, and he's like, "Do you want it? You want me to send it back?" I'm like, "Please take it back." And never talk to me again. So I hope he learned his lesson. I mean, it did cost him a dishwasher.
That's cringe. That I didn't expect that side of that story where he bought you a fucking dishwasher.
He bought me a fucking dishwasher.
This is what a lot of beta men do, right? And in order to apologize, they'll start buying girls gifts to show their apology. They show up unwanted to their job, to certain places, and you just keep pushing her further and further away.
Correct.
I would have kept the dishwasher personally, but that was
what everyone says.
And this is another thing. Guys, listen to what women tell you. She told him during the date she doesn't like those types of pics, and he still sent her one anyways. Like, guys they're too busy trying to get in a woman's pants where you're not even listening. If you're one of those guys that has a good listening ear, you're going to stand out from majority of the other men out there.
It's those little things. I remember you like this, blah, blah, blah. How do you remember, like, those little details, that shows us that you're not just, listening, fantasizing about, the happy ending. You're literally actually paying attention.
That was the game changer. That was the game changer for me when it came to dating, where I actually started listening to what the women were saying. Because women love talking about themselves. Ask them questions and remember what they say. Remember.
100%. 100%. I think that it goes kind of both ways. Ask questions about this guy. Also get to know him. I mean, usually I try to be as quiet as possible and let them talk because they're pretty hilarious at trying to impress me. So I just let them talk. But at the same token, I do speak up. But yeah, I mean, like I said, normal, please, no dick pics. That's just horrible. Yeah, I literally texted you the next day. I'm like, how do I fix it? Like, this just got to stop. I'm like, oh my God, him. And I just lost it.
So I have a question for you, and I just want you to say it in your own words. How you, when we hear of nice guy versus bad boy, and again in this context for dating, usually the bad boys are the ones that have game, or they are better at communicating and talking with women. Or you could even say beta versus alpha. How would you describe the difference between the two?
Good question.
So that is actually a great question, because muscles, I've come to find out, mean absolutely nothing. Most of the most beta males I know are gym rats. They're bodybuilders. They're in the military, and they're the biggest pussies ever. So how can I tell? One of my kind of big, let's say, green flags in a way is it's the planning. Um, be here, I want to take you here. And like the guy that I've been kind of currently seeing me, he's such a good planner. I love that. I literally just have to be like, okay, what am I wearing? He plans fun days. He plans fun things. He's interested in what I'm saying. And the little things, the opening the doors, I know this dessert. Let me order that for you. I think you'll like it. It's just the little things that I can tell, the difference between an alpha and a beta. Now, the bad boys or the cute guys with the muscles or anything, it's always a red flag like that. Like when they start talking about too much about themselves, that's always going to be, they don't ask questions, or like I say something and then I have to I just told you that 5 minutes ago. Like even 5 minutes ago, they're not paying attention. I can just tell they're just trying to get in my pants. Usually they're gonna be, and this is really weird, you guys, the men that are like that always gonna at some point mention their mom. They're like mama's boys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, my mom always told me, or my mom did this. Oh,
Ooh.
when I was little, blah 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 blah. So that's another huge flag. Like guys that are guys, they are more on the dad. Like, yeah, like me and my guys used to go hunting and blah 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 blah. Then also guys, always about the mommy or the ma. Oh my god, there's this guy in my Instagram that he hangs out with ma, and he's like 45 years old. Ma. Just cringe. You should
She
take
made
your
a
mom
great point.
shopping and not hanging out with mom. Oh,
Yeah,
get
Adam,
out of
she
here.
just made a great point that I even overlooked about the men constantly, the beta men mentioning their mom, but then the
All the
alpha
time.
will mention stories about their fathers,
All the
like their
time.
fathers. Me, my dad did this, my dad was that. Right,
Mhm.
badass stories. That's a gem right there that she just told you guys.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And, so I hear it with my clients, like I said, being around boys, you can just kind of, pick up. I mean, that's it. I mean, here in Florida, there's a lot of those, gun guys and Trumps. And, I don't necessarily think they're going to be alphas, but, they're guys. And I think that's what we women want, that daddy energy, that the guys that, they're gonna have the guns and the thing. Like, I don't mind. And a lot of women are like, oh, I don't want my man to have a gun. Well, the shit goes down in zombie apocalypse. What are you gonna do? You're gonna defend your man? No.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, that's it. A man needs to be raised by their dads.
Learn to use a weapon, fellas. Women instinctively feel like you can protect them. There's something primal and attractive about that. And it's very dangerous as well if you know how to handle a weapon that makes you look good and more attractive. But she said
Right.
her key points there, how muscles don't make you alpha. Like some of the biggest beta men she's met were in the military, had big muscles, were gym rats. What do we always tell you guys? It's what's in here. It's your mind. It's your attitude. That's what makes you an alpha. Muscles
Your
help, of
attitude.
course. But if you don't have that attitude to back it up, you can't hide
Right.
that. You can't hide beta.
And that's another, I feel like that's another feminism thing with the toxic masculinity. A man that owns a gun is toxic, or a man that looks certain way is toxic, or a man that doesn't whatever is toxic. And that's another way to diminish men and to take them out of what men should be doing. Like men should be men. It's okay for a man to have a gun. And at the end of the day, those manly men are the less toxic men, because they know how to treat a woman because their dad taught them that if they mistreat their mom or they talk back to their mom, they're going to get slapped the shit out and it's going to be the end of it. So those are the most, kind, loyal. They're always going to open the door for you, but they are also going to lead with, you're going to do what I say, but, in a very kind, manly way. I think you and I talked about this. A woman will submit to a man that's going to lead to them, that's going to provide for them, and that's going to protect them. And that protection that you said, that physical protection is extremely important, especially for me. I'm 98 pounds, I'm 5'1". I need that man. But also it's going to protect my feelings, my emotions, because with women, it's complicated. We're complicated that way. You have to, include that in, sometimes we overthink things and, but we want to be, sometimes we just want to hug. Like we have a bad period, we had a bad day, we're crampy, we're grumpy. We just need a hug. We just need a man to be like, you know what? It's okay, baby. I got you today. You have nothing to worry about. Those are the best men. That's not going to make you weak. The abusers, the betas, they're going to be, what's wrong with you? It's just your period. That comes every month. Like it was going to have zero sympathy for us. So those toxic men are always going to be the best men, at least to me.
Yeah, I just have one last thing I'm curious about here is like when you said, if you have a bad day and the guy's just there to just basically, he's like, hey, don't worry about it. I got you. On the flip side, what does it make you feel if there's a guy in your life that tries to like kind of feminism and everything's pushing to, share all your emotions with women, communicate everything, tell her about your trauma, tell her about all that. How do you feel being a woman when a guy is the one that's basically unloading his emotions on you?
And sharing his weaknesses and sharing his weaknesses. Yeah.
I mean, I think that has to be built with trust. I mean, if you're dating a man, if you're dating a girl for like 3-4 weeks, please don't unload your Iraq traumas or everything you went through. I sure have a shitload of traumas, but I'm not going to unload that in a month. I think all those conversations can come, organically. Like if you vibe with the person, of course, I'm going to be sympathetic of a man telling me what happened to him or whatever traumas he had. I'm the less judgmental person. Now, or what I will focus on is how are you handling it now? I don't care about your past. I don't care about if you need to cry, if something happened to you, by all means, we're having a heart-to-heart conversation, do it. But the difference is, are you still hang up on that? Are you still going to be whatever? Are you going to still fight depression? Or you're handling it? Or you're taking care of control, you go in the gym, you're not taking drugs, you're not taking antidepressants. I mean, to me, weed is fine. I smoke weed. It's great for anxiety, PTSD, whatever. Like, what are you doing to help yourself? Or are you expecting me to take care of you and your feelings and your fucked up past? Is not going to happen. So, and I feel like all that conversation that comes like just organically in conversation, and then you can just kind of feel it out. I think for a man, it's important to trust the woman that she's with and tell her, what happened to you, but not necessarily put it on her to heal you. Heal yourself so you can be a good partner and learn from what happened from your past.
Yeah, that's go ahead, Adam. I'll give my input.
I was just
after.
gonna say, I think that kind of goes back to the mother thing too, because as men, that's typically the one growing up that you could share your weaknesses and she would coddle you and all that. But that energy of going for a woman, trying to attract a woman, the only woman that's going to put up with that type of unloading is your mother, your birth mother, but not a girl you're trying to date, not your girlfriend, all that. That's not her job to coddle you like your mother did.
Exactly. Like I said, you can share your experience and your traumas, but take care of it. Don't expect me to take care of it. I'm going to have love and compassion for you. You're entitled to, I think that's how you build trust and compassion. But if you need healing, go to a therapist or go to your mother. I'm not here to heal you. I'm here for you, to support you, but I'm not here to,
And that's the notion that a lot of men have, because you always hear that expression, oh, men want a woman that reminds them of their mother. So automatically they think, oh, I can treat her like she's my mother. She reminds me of my mom. Let me start unloading all my problems with her. And I keep telling you guys, man, and I get a lot of hate on videos when I make videos on this topic. Women aren't your woman isn't your therapist. The matter of the fact is, no one gives a shit about your problems. Like, let's be real here. No one does. We go through our own problems. We don't care about your problems. Neither does your woman, bro. She doesn't give a fuck about your problems. All she cares about is how you handle them. Are you resilient enough to bounce back? We have to be like cats, where no matter what height we fall from, we're always going to land on our feet. Because a lioness doesn't give a fuck about what a lion has been through. All she cares about is, can he protect me and my pride, my family? Is he resilient enough to overcome his battles?
Right.
Yeah, he has scars. He has his wounds. Is he going to be able to get up the next morning, lick them, and move on, live to fight another day? That's all she cares about. Same thing with women. They don't care about what you've been through, or, oh my God, I've been through this trauma. I need your help, baby. I need to be coddled. Could you imagine? A lioness isn't going to go for that type of lion. They're like, no, too weak. Don't care.
100%. Now, it's not to say that if you come to us with a problem, we're not going to listen and have compassion, like I said, but that's as far as my support is going to be. I'll be here for you. I'll support you. But at the end of the day, you're a big boy. You have to take care of your problems and perhaps the family problems if anything's going on. You know, men need to be physically strong, headstrong, and, you know, like I cannot say it enough: lead, provide, and protect in every way. And at our end, we need to support our man, support our family, take care of our children, educate our children, you know, give them, you know, support them with good food, with good education, with good morals. Whether it's a boy or a girl, everybody needs good morals. And I think that's where the feminine comes, you know, creating compassion, creating empathy. And then the man just does the physical part and the support, and us, we're there for the emotional part. Now that, you know, some women kind of cross that line where they're boys, 100%. But I feel like that's when the dads come in. And it's like, you can still be like a boy mom. Like my best friend, she's the best boy mom ever. She doesn't cuddle her kids. You know, her and I are very, very similar in that way. But she's there to support. You fell off. Okay, let me see. All right, you're going to be okay. You want me to give it a kiss? She kisses me. Went up. But she's never, okay, baby, come here. You're going to be fun. Blah, blah, blah. No. And don't cry. Don't cry.
Yeah, please. For the love of God, do not cry in front of your girl.
Don't cry.
For the love of Adam, I'm telling you, we're laughing, but I get so much hate when I make videos like this. And guys will say, "Oh, what do you mean I can't cry in front of my girl? So why am I even with her? Like, that's why I'm in the relationship." I'm like,
and there is like, oh, I got a little choked up. Like, if you're telling a story and if I got, like, one of my guys is going through hell right now, and, you know, he sits in my chair just, you know, for support and therapy. And yeah, when he's telling the story, he gets a little choked up, teary eyes, but he snaps out of it. But I also seen that, you don't leave me. Like, no, God, no. You know, I'll probably get a lot of hate for it. But I mean, you know, boys are allowed to cry, men are not, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. Because if a man's, you know, going around crying and sobbing, who's now going to lead through that situation? Now you're putting that burden on the woman
what's going to
you're with
happen when I have a period and I'm crying and I'm emotional? So what, we're both going to cry? Oh God.
This is my take on it, right? And this is why it's so repulsive when a man is crying in front of women or crying in front of his girl. Okay. This is how repulsive this is. Picture yourself going into battle and the guy you're with starts crying. He's scared. He starts crying. You're going to look at this dude and you're like, bro, what the fuck? I don't even want to go into battle with you anymore. Right? That's the same thing, because there's a certain type of energy that men feed off of, and women. If you're going into battle, you want the guy that's ready to die. You're like, bro, I'm ready. Like, I got this. I can lead the way for you. Right? Troy, you look at Troy, Achilles. He never cried. He's like, oh, I got to do this again. Right? Let me show you guys how it's done. Now you have an army that's going to follow you. With women, imagine her man starts crying. She's like, wow, this bitch can't even lead the way for me. Like they're sympathetic, they're compassionate. They'll show you their compassion, but
100%.
internally they start drying up. They're like, oh my God. Like they lose attraction for you. And it's the same situation.
Yep, totally agree. All right, I gotta go here in about 10 minutes. Is there any final things either of you guys want to end with? And of course, is it Andrea or Andrea?
It's Andrea, but either way.
And of course, at the end, you can mention if you want anyone to follow you on any TikTok or any socials or whatever. We appreciate you having you on here. But is there anything either of you guys want to end on? Some final thoughts?
Yeah. So, Andrea, I wanted to ask you, what's the difference, right? You go to Colombia, you see the men there or the women, and then you come back to this beautiful country of ours you call America. And you see the dynamics here with the feminine men and the masculine women, right? Who do you think seems happier in relationships? You think the couples here seem happier, or in Colombia, in such a, let's say, like a third world country, right? Who seems happier?
I feel that Latinos are definitely happier in relationships because, unfortunately, and I say it again, I'm probably gonna get canceled. The feminism is not like that. I mean, we hear about it, they kind of like in a way, just like ignore it. Like, we know it's there, it's America, it's the free country, but in Colombia, boys are boys and girls are girls, and everybody knows their place. I feel like I've been to other countries and it's pretty much the same. Europeans are very, kind of same, let's say old school, I feel like it's just here in America where it's just gotten out of control. So, I mean, I love these talks because I don't know, I know you guys have a big platform and it's just something needs to be done, like I'm 43, I'm a little past my time, but I feel like you guys, thank God for men like you, that it's like, it kind of gives the society some hope because, things are getting a little crazy here, and dating it's complicated enough, or like human relationships are complicated enough, and when you add so many obstacles with like the feminism and boys are boys and girls are like there's just so much. It's just, I can see why or your followers or your audience is confused. I'm confused, but I'm old enough to have been through a lot, know a lot of people, interact with men to know better. But I know for a lot of people this whole dating thing is extremely confusing, and I think for women my age or men my age, we're caught in between that new ways and the old ways, so it makes it even worse. So I just want to really thank you guys for this.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Wait, I have another question. So a masculine alpha male, he sleeps over your place. What are you making for breakfast?
Oh my God.
What are you making for breakfast? This is the question what are you making for breakfast?
So I have a special dish for my sleepovers, and I make this really good, like, let's call it fried rice, but it's not really fried rice. It's like rice with veggies. I add some chicken, maybe some sausage, toast. I'm super like in the healthy way, so I try to keep it super clean, gluten-free, lots of protein, because my guys, they're usually gym boys. They like their protein or whatever, so load it with that. Nice cup of coffee, or sometimes they want a protein shake or something like that. I mean, I do give them the option of what do you want to drink, but the main course is a big plate. In Colombia, we call it calentado, which is that like rice and, sausage and some veggies and, that with some nice toast and maybe some potatoes. And
yeah, she's not kidding, because Latina woman, if you sleep over and you ask them to make you breakfast, you think you're gonna get. Yeah,
oh my God!
You think you're gonna get like a little plate.
This is
right?
a time to shine.
Yeah, but they'll give you, Adam. They'll give you 3 plates of different types of food. They'll add a bowl of fruit on top of that. Then not only do you get a cup of coffee, you get a cup of orange juice with it. And they're watching you. They're watching you. They're like, you better finish this. They're watching. You better finish this, motherfucker. But my last question. Okay, the last question. Top qualities that are very attractive to you. You look for in a man. The top qualities could be confidence, his attitude, right? Things like that is energy. So what you can come up with your ideal man. He
Yeah,
has
I
to
think
have these
definitely
qualities.
confidence, and a quality for me is straight up take charge. I can pick up on a man that's gonna take charge within seconds of the conversation. Take charge. A man that is gonna plan. I love surprises. I'm a hardcore Aries. I love surprises, obviously the good ones. So a man that's gonna surprise me, I mean, I'm all in. It's a man that's gonna be thoughtful enough to those little things. He hurt me, and holy shit, he did notice that I like that movie, and that's the movie we're gonna see. Like just the little things is what gets me. With this guy that I'm seeing, one of the things that I like, he's not constantly texting me or at my ass, and for lack of better words. It takes me a long time to warm up to a man, again, because things in the past or whatever. So I appreciate a man that takes his time and doesn't take my, I don't want to say lack of effort, but my passive way doesn't take it as discouraged. Like I said, I never text him. He always initiate the text messages, but I completely engage in the conversation and I ask questions. So I like that. A little space for me is great. For me, it's a non-negotiable. It has to be a man that has to work out and be in the gym. Like lifestyle is huge for me. I can't be with a bum or somebody that's, oh, you're gonna go to the gym, or somebody that I have to tell them, hey, meet your steps today. Like that's how you get, or somebody that I can share the foods that I like to eat, go to the gym together, the lifestyle. He completely respects my sleeping time. He knows that when we go on dates, he's got to bring me back by 9 o'clock the latest. And I love that. Somebody that respects my lifestyle and has perhaps a similar lifestyle. He trains professional athletes. So he's a power lifter. So we do share a lot of that. And he's not being pushy. We've been seeing each other for about 3 months. I know, Cesar, you're going to probably not be so kind. We have not had sex. It's just, if anything, hasn't have been like the opportunity. We haven't been like alone in a setting. We haven't like spent overnight. I might, because I want to. I mean, we had a little makeout sessions and hat makeout sessions, but I haven't put myself in that place where I trust him yet to sleep with him. And in a weird way, he told me that it's attracted to him. That is not like I'm just gonna give it up to the first candidate. So yeah, I think that's important to me.
Respect. Okay. I had fun doing this. The beautiful feminine Colombian Andrea, Miss
Thank you,
Colombian,
guys.
right?
Yeah,
This
thanks
was
very
so
much.
much
And we're not like, we're happy to shout you up or shout you out if you have a social media that you want to get acknowledged. I can put it in the show notes and all that. You can tell it to us here if you like. If you don't, that's totally fine. We're not pushing it. But...
I mean, I'm pretty open. Like I mean, I have very no like following or anything. I kind of like to be in the corner a little bit. I mean, my full name is Andrea Ferro, F like Frank, ERRO, and I think I have like a 1111. That's my lucky number, my angel number. So I think on my socials, which is, I only have TikTok and Instagram, I think that's what I go by. And hey, by all means, I don't post really anything. I'm more in the shy. I don't necessarily like attention, but I do get bored. So
yeah,
yes,
if you
sir.
want to find her, go ahead. Awesome Instagram, very creative, photogenic. She loves Halloween. So check out some of her Halloween pictures and what she dresses up as. Really badass. So,
but don't send her any dick pics, guys.
Yeah, don't send her unsolicited pics, fellas. Whatever you do.
No, he told me at the beginning, he's like, "What do you want to be called? You want to be called Princess?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm more of a Wednesday Addams than Barbie." So
yeah,
definitely not Princess.
Yeah, thank you,
You
so
guys
much,
are the
Andrea.
best. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. It's good.
Okay,
Good
bye.
meeting you.
Bye.